Plague Repeater is back, and better than ever. Tap one monster, watch the pack explode. For single target damage, well, you don't need to worry about that anymore. You have minions to do that for you, and all without requiring either the Curse Ward DLC or any super rare relics. And so that, let's dive right in. It seems like relics are a good place to start. So first up we've got Last Prayer. This is what causes enemies to explode when you kill them with Repeater. It's the core of your build, you can find it in Act 1, use it throughout the rest of the game. This next relic is new, so you will need to start a new save file if you haven't already done so since 2.0. This is Infested Weapon. Now, instead of using Repeater yourself, Phantom Marksmen can use it for you. That's right, this is a minion build. And because Phantom Marksmen are using it for you, they can use Future Weapon, causing Repeater to bounce between every enemy in the pack. This relic is not specifically required, the chaining explosions do a pretty good job, but it does feel really good, so generally I'd recommend it unless you have really good rare relics. Another new one is Unwieldy Weapon. This massively increases Repeater's damage, see how it's an X, so it's just multiplicative, but it causes Repeater to fire in a cone. And so to counteract this, you cast your Phantom Marksman directly on top of enemies, as opposed to near yourself. After that, the build uses a combination of Headless Doll and Call the Guard. Plus, of course, Summon the Guard. This way you have extra minions that are solely there to provide a boost. I mean, I guess they deal a little damage, but really they're just there to empower Headless Doll. Last up, the remaining two relics include Arapuka. Repeater deals a multiplicative damage bonus to slowed enemies. Since Repeater is converted over to Plague, it blights enemies, which slows them. And Careful Hunter. It's really easy to generate agility orbs, so this is free evasion. In terms of relic crafting, imbue a combination of flat damage, physical or plague, summon damage, and marksman skill damage on your larger relics. On larges, you may also need to do something like %fizz or %plague. On the small relics, you're going to be imbuing defenses. So, movement speed, yes, that is a defense. If enemies can't hit you, they can't kill you. Evasion, endurance, and of course max life. For rare relic affixes, skill projectile amount. Marksman skills deal damage to close enemies. You want to cast things close for Unwieldy Weapon anyway. If you had Counter-Strike, I wouldn't use too many of these, but a couple are good. Repeater damage. Don't worry about the mana cost, you're not using it yourself. And of course, deal additional damage against Blighted, double the bonus against Withered. You're always going to be blighting enemies, and fairly frequently you're going to wither them as well. On the defensive side, I'm using a couple of all-res and endurance skill mana cost. The skill mana cost isn't a downside, and I needed this to cap my endurance. Not required if you cap it by other means. I do also have this relic with +1 Repeater. It's very nice, but not required. Now, if you happen to get it as a drop, you can use the Broken Mirror. It's an Uber relic, so it's very rare. Also, I don't think it's as good as really well-rolled smalls, but if you don't have really well-rolled smalls and you happen to get one, it's decent. Similarly, if you have the Cursed War DLC, you can use Scorched Bones. This would be replacing Call the Guard and Headless Doll, and you can replace Summon the Guard with Tuba's Wrath to buff your minions, but you don't need it. This build's already cruising through T16. Next up, we've got the Constellations. Now, if you've followed some of my other builds recently, this is going to look pretty familiar. We're starting with Agility Orbs, because they're great, then filling out Oxosi, the Marksman Constellation, followed by Osane, the Conversion Constellation. You do not need Herbalism, you don't need this constellation technically, but it is really good damage scaling that makes it much easier to roll your gear. After that, St. Hedwig, with the last point only being to get enough faith to fill out Exu Caviera for +1 max summon. By default you get 2, so +1, that's 3, that's 50% more damage. Next up, of course, we have the 30% multiplicative plague damage, followed by projectile bonuses here, followed by St. Jude for a bunch of bonuses against bosses. This is very optional, but it is quite nice, especially for the Res Shred, which is a little harder to get on Plague. And then the last couple of points, here and there, into things like life and damage notes. You can put these last couple of points wherever you want. Now for the Oblivion Bell, fill out all your main mechanics, make sure to get the crit, also make sure to get both of the endurance nodes. After that, it's kind of up to you. What I ended up doing is going into extra evasion to make it easier to cap, and then movement speed. I'm pathing through attack speed, This does not help the build, but my end goal is movement speed, which does help because moving around faster, clear stuff more, kill enemies more quickly. If I felt like I needed damage, I could take extra marksman skill damage and I could take extra summon damage. But I found that things were dying quickly enough that I didn't need it even in tier 16. For gear, it's pretty standard. Get a weapon with base damage, skill projectile amount, plague damage, fizz damage, whatever you happen to roll the best of. Left ring, life leech, or crit. Crit makes it easier to cap, but this is 2 crit skills, so it's totally fine either way. Life leech is nice quality of life. Right ring, base damage, crit damage. Here, cap your endurance, cap your evasion. Here, cooldown speed or fizz res. Cooldown speed is nice for the extra mobility and prayer of vengeance, not required. Here, this should be cooldown speed. I just haven't gotten a cooldown speed belt to drop. This should be cooldown speed 100%. Boots, move speed, Ellie res. Amulet, cooldown speed, ornament, life. Not too many choices for those last couple. Alright, so what do you do for blessings? Your biggest priority should be taking blessings on either Phantom Marksman or Repeater, because Phantom Marksmen are using Repeater, therefore they scale the damage. In terms of what you take where, avoid skill speed on Repeater. Instead, go for Repeater damage or Repeater crit damage. On Phantom Marksman, get Marksman attack speed or Marksman damage. Avoid duration and mana cost, you can easily cast more of them. After that, fill out your supporting skills. I wouldn't really worry about Catholic Guard, all it really gives is cooldown speed, so higher rank is better. Pretty much the same for Passage, though lower cooldown, that's kind of nice. On Prayer of Vengeance, depends a little bit on your gear. Are you using a crit ring? Do you have crit rolls on your gear? If you do, hard focus crit damage. If not, go for some crit chance, but that is a lower priority than the damage mods here. Then in terms of gameplay, just cast out your minions. As you can see, as soon as they touch anything in the pack, the entire pack explodes. And all you need to do, run around, collect the loot, open the chests. Now for Blessings of Foundation, first, go for the Fire Lightning Plague, followed by Fire Lightning Plague, followed by Plague, followed by Plague Res Shred. After that, I like going into Blessing of Constitution for more life, to be tankier. In part, that's because my character, 40,000 life, I have a decent number of rolls from Relics, but it probably could be a little bit higher. And so with that, I'll be super tanky and nothing will kill me. Also, don't do what I just did and click the wrong thing because you're demonstrating for a YouTube video. Alright, since the area density here is pretty low, I'm just going to skip ahead to floor 7. Have plenty of damage to kill everything regardless. Alright, so for bosses, just cast stuff out, pop your buffs, and watch everything die. The reason that guy survived a bit longer is, remember, there's that 30-degree spread, so at a distance like that, the build does much less damage. That is why you cast your minions directly on top of enemies. Alright, here we go. Necropolis, much better demonstration. Now I just run near enemies and they instantly explode, because these tight corridors put enemies close together, which means they're going to be in range of the plague explosions. Oh, look at that. One thing dies, entire pack explodes. This is the build. It is super fast. It's a really good farmer. And you don't need that much damage scaling, because yet again, it is minion scaling. In most cases, I'm not even going to be casting out all of the minions that I could, and everything's just dying. Like, that's 1 minion, 2 minions out of 4, boss already dead. Tier 16, by the way. Alright, so that's the build. I'm sure at this point you're wondering, how does it compare to everything else that I've talked about so far? Slightly worse than Plague Split Shot. Unsurprisingly, that build is super OP, probably going to get nerfed. Better than Tupa's Wrath, better than Veil of Quills. Pretty similar setup to Veil of Quills, you could level as this if you want to play that. How does it compare to Ignite/Fireball? Ooh, that's a tough one. I think during the campaign, Fireball Ignite's better. In the end game, this was a little easier to get going, but once you're in tier 16, both are really good. Fireball Ignite probably has a higher top end, not that it matters for the current content, though again, kind of comes down to preference. Both are really good, they're super fast, they melt stuff. And both have a lot of safety. I mean, one of them, your Ignite, you get super tanky, you don't have to scale crit. This one, enemies get withered. Also, your minions are doing damage, all you need to do is run around. Yeah, both of them are very good. In terms of what I'm going to be doing next, Well, I think I'm going to be doing a wrap-up of all the builds, comparing them a little bit more directly. Get subscribed if you're interested in that. I also may be doing a guide on how I've been farming in Hellclock. So I'm going to make a short, possibly, or long video going over how I've been farming stuff. If any of that sounds interesting, let me know down in the comments below. Also, get subscribed so you don't miss it, because sometimes YouTube doesn't tell you. Hop in my Discord to give yourself a notification role if you want to be extra sure. That way you get a ping whenever I release a video, and it's not up to YouTube. And so that, I'm going to get going. If you want a planner, it'll be down below. Thanks for watching. Glad you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.